Hello and welcome again to the 100,000 Reasons for Gratitude. Please join me as we look at life through a lens of happiness. Today, I'd like us to talk about being grateful for the gift of creating. Creating for me means making something new, making something that was not there before, creating something or causing something to exist, bringing something to existence. This could mean anything really. Could mean from you creating from your imagination, you creating but mostly it's always actually from your imagination, because I was trying to think of another example, but that's the one that keeps coming to mind, creating from imagination. Another thing I'd like us to recall is every minute of your life you're actually creating, because if I'm here and I'm existing and I'm having these amazing experiences within me, right? For me to be able to speak them, that's creation, right? For me to be able to think about something, I've created it, I've made it happen there. And when we think of that, it makes you want to be very self conscious about what you say, what you think, right? And so today's episode, particularly, I would want to use the example of baking. When you're baking, you'll use raw ingredients. You'll have your eggs, you'll have your flour, you'll have your baking soda, baking powder, you'll have maybe cinnamon, among other ingredients. And all these independent individual items, you will mix them up to make something out of it. And that's a cake, a loaf, a muffin, among other pastries. When we think about that, we see that during this process, we need raw materials, we need independent items to work with. And during that process of mixing is what comes the output. Even when we look at things like art, there has to be something that the artist saw or felt or just mostly felt or saw, right? Or even heard sometimes. And then you're able to work on it, process it in your mind, and then now you put it out, but you create something. Creation here does not mean only art or cooking or painting or any of that sort. No, no, no. For me, I want to view creation as anything that you're doing. When you're doing your work, when you're doing your role, when you're working on your job, I feel like that's creating, because you're making something out of, I don't know, pieces of paper, right? If you're just reading, if you're reading a document and you're supposed to make, let's say, a proposal for a project proposal, you are making something out of pieces of information that don't necessarily work together, but your output would be something. So when we're looking at creation, I'd like to picture it as you making something that's making anything. Could be, now if you're really artistic, art works for you, right? Could be something like baking that I've given the example. If you're an actor, you're acting. If you could be building something, cooking. Actually, anything that you're doing is creating. And isn't it a beautiful life that we are able to do that? Because from it, you're able to see into the other person's world, I'd say. So, in this episode, I'd like us to ponder a little bit, of course, on what ingredients do you add to your creation? What raw materials have you filled into this into your database, and what do you expect out? Because if those ingredients are not as part to what you want out, then you need to do something, right? You need to work on them. I feel like that's where we actually get to enjoy the gift of creation. Because if those raw ingredients are so good, are so fulfilling, are really nice things, they are up to date, they are not expired, they are sufficient, of course, because if it's insufficient, you will not be able to create quality output, right? So your ingredients are sufficient, you have enough of everything, then I feel like that's your creation is going to be what you actually want. But when we are creating from a point of view where things are not what you want them to be and you expect a different result, that can't happen. So yeah, so as we're creating in our daily life, what inputs are we involving, and how can we better improve this creative process so that it's a masterpiece? We all want perfection. We all want to see beautiful things in our life. What about what you put in to put out is perfection itself? I mean, that means what you put out is absolutely amazing and beautiful. And I hope that we get to enjoy each other's creation. Marvel in the beauty that is the person next to you. Marvel in the beauty of anything next to you, because you're creating it in a way, right? And when we do that, let's learn to do it from a point of an open heart. You're just ready to receive, you're ready to give, you are loving. And I feel like that's how we make magic, and that's how we make heaven on earth. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.